It's not me.
You're on now.
It's a big job.
Okay. This is the Town of Rocky Hill Economic Development Commission special meeting, Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. This part is set aside for public comment. This portion of the meeting is specifically set aside for comments from the public who are asked to limit their comments to 2 minutes. Any person interested in providing public comment remotely should email publicmeetings@rockyhillct.gov prior to 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting, at which time a link will be provided to attend the meeting as well as instructions on how to participate. I assume we don't have anything, correct? Okay, so next I need, did everybody get a copy of the minutes from our last meeting?
Mm-hmm.
And can I have an approval of those?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion? No? Good?
Mhm.
Okay. Next, we have Middlesex Chamber update. We don't have anyone here from the chamber, so nothing for that. And next, what we've all been waiting for, our presentation from Town Center West. Jim's a pro. Nothing.
Jim, you don't know how to use it by now?
I know, you're here more than. You should have your own now, Jim.
Better?
Much
Yeah.
better, thank you.
Good evening. If no one knows me, my name is Jim Cassidy. I'm a professional engineer and principal. I'm with the firm of Howell C. Pearson and Cassidy. And I was responsible for developing all the site plans and approvals for Town Center West on Cromwell Avenue here in Rocky Hill. I'm here tonight with Sue Vicino, who is part owner of this development. And we're just here to kind of talk to the commission, maybe bounce off some ideas or get ideas from this commission as to what things we can do to promote some more activity. On the plan that was handed out to you and the plan I have up on the board is just an overview of the overall project, just to kind of refamiliarize everybody with it. Up to the top is West Street. Off on the left or to the west would be Cromwell Avenue. We have our main access way, our main driveway in off of Cromwell Avenue. It's a boulevarded road with the traffic signal that we installed right opposite Modern Tire. To date, in the commercial portion, there are 2 buildings built. This one here is called building number 100, which contains Starbucks, Citizens Bank, and a salad bar and 1 vacant space. Building number 200 is home to Carbone's Prime. The back portion, the easterlymost portion, is Montage Apartments, which consists of 144 1- and 2-bedroom apartment units with its access off of West Street right opposite Corporate Row. What's not built today are the 2 more buildings out there. Building number 400, which had a footprint of about 24,000 square feet on the first floor and an additional 13,000 square feet of office space on the second floor. And also on the north end, building number 3. That building had a footprint of about 21,000 square feet with an additional 12,000 square feet of office space on the second floor. It was interesting enough, I went through my files today, took a look at this project. It actually was approved in June of 2012. So it's been around for about 12 years already. It's gone through some minor changes, such as the initial building number 200 was not a restaurant. Ultimately, we came back for modification to have Carbone's in there. And then also there's been some modifications to the residential multifamily portion as we go on through this project. Ultimately, when the overall project is completed, the multifamily will be connected to the commercial portion. It'll be connected by a controlled access gate, so you can't just get the public that's coming off of West Street and cutting through. It's primarily set up for the residents of this to be able to enter into this commercial portion of the development and use the services of the commercial portion of development. That was a requirement of, at that time, it was STC, State Traffic Commission, now OSTA. They didn't want the interconnection between the 2 sites. the site itself, it's all prepped. It's all ready. All the infrastructure is in. All the utilities are in. The water, the sewer, the electrical services, all the storm drainage is in. It's a pad-ready site. It's an approved site. So the beauty of it is if we finally get a tenant, we can actually start tomorrow and actually start construction of this. The problem is getting a tenant. We've been through several concept plans over the years, looking at different tenants, and unfortunately, you get one interested. But with the size of the building, you need to get a higher percentage of the building committed to before you can actually get a mortgage to build it. So that's been the big problem. I've always mentioned to Sue, one of the issues is no one can perceive what this building is actually going to look like. Everyone's like, it's at the back of the site. You're never going to see this building.
Right.
So I always said you build it and they'll come, but you're not going to build this expensive a building. So we went to the next best thing, which you have in your package, is we started having renderings, 3D renderings of it prepared. So the first rendering you have is the architectural plans, the rendering of the architectural plans of the building itself. So this is building number 400. If you were to drive into the site, there is the circle at the center of the site. So if you were actually coming out of the driveway from the backside of Carbone's, this is what you'd be looking at. The easterly end of the building is a the westerly end of the building is a one-story section. The easterlymost portion has the additional second story on it, so that's where you get the additional 13,000 square feet of office space. It is set up to be broken into smaller segments, so you can have restaurants, smaller shops, or if we can get a bigger tenant, we can have a bigger tenant. And also, we've looked at all kinds of tenants for this, but again, trying to convince someone that you really could see this building has always been an issue. So we went as far as actually doing perspective renderings from different locations. So this rendering, this should be the second. I'm sorry, this one would be the second in your package. This is the one we call the Abbey Road rendering. Is if you're standing at the crosswalk at Modern Tire, getting ready to walk across, looking down the driveway, but really the building is only about 400 feet down the driveway. It's very visible as you can see it down the driveway. We've also did the rendering, a 3D rendering of sitting in Modern Tire's driveway, so you're a little bit further back, and once again, you get another perspective of where that building would be. But again, it's visible. It's just getting people to come in and actually look at it. One of the things we are looking to do as part of our marketing campaign is we're going to take these renderings, or we're going to have them printed on larger boards, put them at either side of the driveway to give people a perspective of what it's going to be like when you're coming down the driveway. So that's one of the other things we're doing.
And maybe something on the site too?
We were thinking about, I was thinking about the perspective of the building being down near the cul-de-sac, kind of placing these.
Right where it will be.
Right where it would be, or, at that circle.
Yep.
To give somebody an idea. And then these two at either side of the entrance, just to give the perspective of what it would look like.
Can I ask you one more question while
Sure.
I have you? I don't want to interrupt you.
No, go ahead. I'm going to turn it over.
Is there room for additional street signage? Because I see there's the one sign in front, like for the building, I think 100, right? To the
For the,
right?
for the monument sign?
Yeah,
With a variance, yes.
okay.
Yeah, so that's something we'd probably also pursue depending upon the tenant, ultimately come in. So, I mean, that's just an overview of the project. I know Sue's been doing a lot of work on it, and she's actually been talking, has a new marketing team on it. So if you want to talk a little bit about it, Sue, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. My name is Sue Vicino. I was Richard's wife. And I come to this, I guess, more out of necessity than profession. I'm not a professional real estate developer. But I'm committed to the project, and I'm committed to making sure Richard's vision, gets completed and realized. First, I wanted to tell you what I thought some of the high points or winning items with this project are. First, 1/3 of the center is fully built and fully occupied with great tenants. We have super tenants. For instance, Starbucks is rated a number A. Throughout the country, they rate them A, B, and C based on performance and some other things. That one's an A. So it's, it's a home run, and when you're talking to future tenants, that's one of the things you get to say. I have a Starbucks, it's an A. They do a tremendous volume. We have 72,000 square feet yet to build. That's what Jim was showing you between those buildings. Town Center West is a lifestyle center. It's not a plaza. It's not a strip mall. It will look like, say, Somerset Mall in Glastonbury is the idea of what it looks like. It's an outside place. There's shopping, there's dining, there's a place to walk, there'll be a very, like an oversized gazebo that would allow for a small, musical group to play and people could listen to. The folks that live in the apartment can come back and forth. It's a lifestyle center. The design and the construction, as you can see, is very upscale. Jim mentioned our undergrounds are all in, which was a big expense and it's a big effort, which means we're ready to build. We're unusual in that we have a dedicated traffic light, so it's easy access, in and out. Our traffic volume is phenomenal. We do about 44,000 cars a day on the 2 local streets and about 120,000 north and south on 91 pass by in a day. The demographics at 1, 3, and 5 mile radiuses are okay. They're not through the ceiling great, but they're okay. They hit most of the benchmarks. So we come back to what's the problem. We've been sitting here 6 years, 6.5 years with no new tenant. And I personally got involved because I really couldn't understand how this couldn't happen. It baffles me. So I'm not a real estate agent, I'm a hospital administrator by training. So I got on the phone and I called CEOs of companies. I called Trader Joe's, I called Whole Foods, I called Total Wine, I called Jersey Mike, I called people I might be interested in or people that I thought, would blend. Sometimes I got to talk to that person, and sometimes the people actually did, show up and we had some conversation. We had some level of conversation. Inevitably, it comes down to the same thing. You're great. It's a beautiful plaza. The idea is swell, but I can go to Glastonbury. I can go to West Hartford. So sick of hearing this. And now even insult of insults, they can go to Cromwell. And, which just blows me away completely. And, and I'll say, well, there's not rotaries. There is not paid parking. We don't have congestion. You could just move, zip right in here. We're easy to use. This is a pocket of opportunity. It's an ideal spot. But it's like a mental block to get people over this. It's a beautiful facility. They're thinking Glastonbury, West Hartford, and it's an effort, to pull them. They get very close, but I can't quite get anyone. I haven't yet over the line. Still working on it. So it comes down to we need incentives, and so we started to talk with some of you folks, and we talked about different things we could do. We're restructuring our marketing. We're going to start in a whole completely different marketing campaign. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be new. You'll see the effects of it starting, with the signs. So we're going to try to do our best from that end. We also think that maybe from the town, it would be nice to have a little bit of help on the west end. I'm not sure how much it would all do, but there's really, all the fuss is on Silas Dean, and you really don't get much focus on the west end, where we have corporate headquarters, where we have the spending, where we have the restaurants, where we have the housing. It would be nice if we could build some kind of commercial community to do something, up there. I'm not sure what that is, what that promotion would look like, but some sort of promotion in that area that we could draw attention to the area. And finally, I guess the hardest part and the part that, you all probably don't want to consider, but if we did get a great tenant in line, and we had someone who really, really wanted to come, and the town really wanted them, the Cheesecake Factory, Whole Foods, just something like we never had and we would love to have here. I would ask you to consider, in the best possible way, the smallest targeted tax incentive to help us push them over the end. Not everybody, not any other tenant, just if we happen to find that home run. That's a home run for the town and a home run for us. It would be great to have a little something, because I just don't know how else we compete. It's just very hard to compete with these two monster towns. And now, I don't even want to say it out loud, the word that begins with a C. So I'm just, the town that begins with a C. So that's my spiel.
Question for you.
Sure.
You mentioned that the couple towns mentioned I can go here, I can go there. Is it just because of the demographics again? Were the demographics more attractive in their opinion, depending on what type
Yeah.
of business you're targeting as to why they would say it might be a better option to go somewhere like, what, can you give a little example?
Yeah, let's stay with a grocer. So if it's an upscale grocer, we're close, but we're not quite there. And, they'll say, oh, you're very close, your demographics are very good, but it's, it's not quite there. So we're borderline. And I don't know, I'm just getting into this. I've been doing this for about a year. It's brand new to me. And I figure there has to be ways to manipulate the demographic to make it look, to pull together different, for instance, we discovered the other day that there's probably within town 1,000 apartment units, in our contiguous town another 2,000 or 3,000 apartment units coming online that are not factored into the statistics that everyone are using. And I'm also not sure that we're using, I think in some places we're not always using the newest home income levels. We need to show, high enough income levels and whatnot. And then it comes to volume, and we're not as dense. That's the other piece. We're not as densely populated. So it's a little bit of a push with that, but it comes close. I had an example was a daycare, a big daycare center, and they were back and forth a few times, and at the end of the day, she throws out this bit about, well, you're under by about 0.1% on kids between this age and that age. And I said, I got to tell you, we have 1 million kids. We're just not counting them all. We'll find them. We'll find the kids. But I mean, they get into the really nitty gritty. So.
I'm sorry, each building total square footage was what again of each building?
I wrote them
30,
down.
what was it?
36.
Building, total square footage is about 75,000.
For both,
Yes.
right, so just,
So building 400 is about 24,000 first floor, 13 second floor. Building 300, which is the one that's behind Carbone's,
okay,
is going to be about 21,000 first and about another 12,500 second. And that's kind of a little bit flexible. Again, we've looked at different tenants. We've had concepts for like a single 40,000, where we had to trade off a portion of the 300 building to the 400 building to make it work. I can't tell you the number of concepts I have on this property, different tenants we've looked at over the years.
We have the option for another drive-through. We could take a tenant with another drive-through. Does the town need office space? The second floor?
I think the rebranding of it is going to be very important and key for it, yeah. Because I know, I drive by it every day, so I'm thrilled to see you starting to,
Change
make
it
some
up.
changes, yeah. And I think it's going to be a beautiful project.
And we're open to any and all suggestions, any leads, any,
I know in our discussion before, there's a few things that you cannot go after, correct? Based on some of the other tenants? Like coffee shops
yes.
is one of them, obviously,
Yes.
because of Starbucks. Are there any other restrictions?
well, with Starbucks, we can't have another fancy coffee.
Okay,
The salad bar, there cannot be another, salad bar could be different. No more banks. And I don't know if Vinnie Carbone has a limit. I don't know what there's
Okay.
probably something, I don't know what it is. He may be interested in giving us another restaurant.
that would be terrific.
It's like, right there, it's like there's people interested in building 400, but not enough to get it built.
Yeah.
I don't know. Our restaurants are packed every night.
That's what I
so-
keep saying. The Max Group has been floating around for the last year or so. They're interested, they're not interested, not interested. I
That would
said,
be another win,
a Max Burger would be great.
yeah.
Great. We don't, it'd be nice.
I think one of the past meetings, we kind of talked about, what does the town want to target? Is it medical profession? Is it,
What do you guys want?
yeah, like, what is it that we want to go try to recruit for?
Well, we
or
all know we
advertise
want
for?
Whole Foods or Trader Joe's.
I mean, I also love
Westside Market
medical
wants that.
office.
That's true.
I think medical office is great, but you really do need to be, it appears, you need to be tied into the Hartford Hospital Group and their real estate division, or into Yale, or into Middlesex. So if anybody has any linkages to any of the big hospital centers. That would be helpful.
So, excuse me. So you gave us a few examples of people that had gotten close. Can you give us an example of maybe, what was that last piece that made them decide to go somewhere else, go to the sea town or, across the river, West Hartford or something like that?
Sometimes you'll hear, like I tried to go after that makeup store that's not Sephora,
Ulta?
Ulta. And I thought it would have been ideal to have an Ulta there. And, just they talk to you, yes, this, that, and then the next thing you know, they'd rather be over by 372. They went to that plaza. So I'm currently talking with, and I'm not a real estate person. I'm talking with Sprouts, which is sort of a niche. It's a new organic, nice, local grown, this, that, the other thing kind of market, pretty popular, growing. And they've been politely interested for some time, but then they start sending in their big real estate teams and they start doing all their big demographics, and I know just what's going to happen. They're going to look at all the numbers and I don't want to hear it.
So based on the data that you've been collecting, I've been hearing a lot of no's, but there's got to be some data in there that leans you towards some demographics. And have we used that data to reach out to the appropriate marketing companies or companies that can actually help supplement the reach outs, focusing on that? It's a no here, but this data does lean towards X, right? And I do understand, we want the town to maybe help us with, be nice to have, but ultimately it's what is the demographics that's going to satisfy the business.
It's going to bring them in.
Exactly.
What's going to be?
So I think that's what we have to hone in on, is that. So I'm curious to know is what have we learned from the no's?
I think I've learned that we're closer with kid things, daycare, things like that. We're probably closer with restaurants, kid things, gyms, probably less so with something that's more income driven. Maybe some of the grocers are, Aldi already went down the street, but that kind of market would probably think they were a better fit, but it doesn't really fit nicely in that lifestyle center. So it's a,
Is there any companies that are helping you with the marketing?
yeah, we just took on a new marketing company. It's going to be all new, and it's going to be aggressive. And they also rep about 50 national retailers. So they personally represent about 50 people. And they do a huge campaign.
And one last question, at least for now,
Yeah.
is I think you mentioned that we can't build until we know that we can fill the spots. But what's that break-even point to say we need X amount of
50%
50?
of the one building. So if it's one of the two buildings at 36,000 square feet, we have to pre-lease half, 18.
18.
18.
Okay.
And then we're okay to go.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm excited. It'll be nice to see. Yeah. Anything else on that? No?
Do you have a copy of the targeting study? I'm not sure if I sent that out to the commission
Did not see
months
that.
ago. Prepared by CERC.
No, I
No?
did not see
All right,
that.
I'll get that out to you. That has some, we did a targeting study as to what we were looking for and what we could support as a community. So there's some information in that document. And just to jump on what's been said, past 18 years, I've tried to market every building in town, Silas Dean Highway and Route 3. And it's always the density of existing development and what's already here. If they want to go to West Hartford and Glastonbury because
already there.
they're already there, and they can feed off what's already there. They come to this site, beautiful site, they look across the street, and that's not so beautiful. It's like a C development. So that's an issue on both corridors, on Silas Dean and Cromwell Avenue. I can't figure out really Cromwell, but it has to be 372.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah.
And they have different types of development. It's a little bit more active. You know, you take away this
Traffic count
development,
seems
and
like
there's
it'd
not
be
much.
less.
There's not a lot going on. And Shunpike, you know, there's single level. There's different developments, you know, different stores, but it's not what you will find in Glastonbury or West Hartford Center.
Right, but it wasn't
It's different.
always like that over there either, so they had to start somewhere. You know, Glastonbury wasn't always what it is today.
And you have to get somebody in. You know, I tried getting Trader Joe's in at Coles Plaza. Again, there's
Yeah.
not enough development there. The demographics in that area is not, the incomes are not
And it's
high
almost
enough.
like a catch-22, because, you know, you want it, but at the same time, there's people in town who don't want it, so it's like, but,
Yeah, and
oh,
also.
this is beautiful.
It is. In these real estate companies, they have formulas, like the real estate site location person will come out. If you don't tick all boxes, you're
Right.
gone. You know, and that's that's a problem. It should be a problem for them, because I think everything we tried to go after the past 20 years would be successful here. But because, like, you're off by 1/10% of this, and they say, no, it doesn't fit the formula, and then they take off, and they don't come back.
Ray, in those situations, how forward-looking are they? Obviously, the town's got projections of demographics of growth, whatever it may be, right? Population, income, and do they look just at that 1 year given point in time, or do they look out 3-5 years?
No, before they get here, they usually know the demographics. They have their own data research
So they're very
within their own organizations. They know probably more about the town than we do.
Yeah,
You know?
fair enough.
Okay,
It's just getting that one, if you can get that one interest, that attracts.
that's all it's gonna take, is, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of benefits that we have over West Hartford. The congestion, the ease to get in and out of here is certainly a benefit. I'm sure the rent
The free
per foot,
parking.
that has got to be substantially lower, I would think, here, than in West Hartford Center.
Have you discussed rents when you do talk to these people?
Rents so far haven't been an issue.
It has not been an issue.
That would be a good issue to have. That would be a good issue. That means they're just there.
Not an issue yet.
Okay, so what do we do? Just try to talk about it more? I mean,
Whatever you can do to promote activity in this area. I don't know if the town puts out posts or flyers or whatever.
So we are actually planning something. So a couple of years ago, Representative Wood and I got together, Ray in his economic development days, and we went over to one of the local hotels and we did like a little business expo kind of thing. This year we're going to do that again because there's a fair amount of property that is available in Rocky Hill, and then there's a fair amount of existing buildings that we want to fill, right? So we're going to invite all sorts of people, from real estate brokers to developers to people who are currently in business in other communities. The Middlesex Chamber of Commerce is going to help support it. We're going to go over to the Sheridan. That at least is the initial plan. So we're in the development stages, but it will likely be in October. I know that Carrie sent me a date. I just haven't even had a chance to look at it yet. But so the intention is to have, parcels like this, have them displayed, bring people through and start talking about it. And then perhaps from that we can put together even a little flyer or something, that we could just pass around. You can pass around and agencies can pass around. So we're going to try to take some proactive steps as a municipality to help promote what we have.
And any ideas, like if you come across a business that might be a good fit? I threw all sorts of things at you, everything I wanted.
And we do have 3 realtors.
Yeah.
And you guys are always out in the community meeting dozens of people.
Right.
So that will help.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Okay, so now we're up to discussion on the business visitation survey. So that one, Kathy and I had met with Ray, and we went through the business visitation surveys. And we ended up saying that the one that Ray had was good. It was a 2-pager.
Yep.
And it was just like a few, I want to say it was 6 main questions. And how we would kind of use those to help businesses, right? It was like 6, 7
Yeah, I
questions.
think the simpler,
Yep.
the more manageable it is for you, the better. And I think I was reading through minutes. I have allergy. I apologize for that. But I was reading through the minutes. Excuse me. At one of your past meetings, and you were talking about the business survey that you go out for visitation, and then you started discussing different types of surveys, like mail surveys and other types of surveys. That really, my idea was the visitation. Go out, meet the business, meet the CEO, the management, and kind of step through that business survey in an easy, in a very
Conversation.
conversational way. Some of the surveys were very complicated that you had.
Right.
Some of them were like, was it 20 pages or something? But
Right, nobody's going to fill that out.
no. It's just to gather information, but more importantly, it's just to let the businesses know that there's some entity out there, that if they have an issue, they can contact either you with your cards, or they can contact us, in the office.
So, may I ask a question? Is it your intention to gather contact information as well? Because we could really use, a contact name and then an email address, especially for, like a business expo. It would be
Right.
really nice to shoot those out. We do have a list
Yeah,
on our website and then the chamber, but it's just not concrete.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that was part of the plan too, just so that we could touch base again, not just meet them once and then see ya, but definitely like keep in contact and follow up.
Yeah, the contact list. That way we can just email blast notices out of training or assistance, and just, one email out to everybody.
Did we settle on like a delivery method for this? Is this just an in-person door knock?
No.
Hi,
It was
or is this a mail thing? Is it?
No, this is not a mail. This is an in-person scheduled appointment.
An appointment setting.
Yeah, we would have Daniel make make the contact, set up the appointment, and a couple of you would go out and, hopefully tour what they have and have a discussion, try to get as much information as you can.
And that kind of rolls us into the development work plan, correct? Our economic development work plan
Yeah, that's one of the
rolls us right
one
over.
of the action steps.
So do we have a time frame for the next steps on visitation survey?
So I think what we have to do is figure out who we want to set up appointments with.
Okay.
And we'll probably do that not now. And then figure out who wants to go, when we can go, that sort of thing.
Yeah, in the
I don't know.
past, commissioners rotated.
Yeah,
That Marty would go with me, and then another commissioner. If we have 3, it becomes a potential quorum, illegal meeting, I think.
Well, it's also too many cooks in the kitchen.
that's what I was going to say. It seems too
Yeah.
much
Like you're
too.
interrogating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it could be, I don't know, you probably don't have time to go.
It-
I'm sure Lisa's got lots of free time.
Yeah, she is. But I
But we are going to get a new person soon, hopefully.
soon, yeah.
Maybe by January.
All right, so that would be good. So it should be like one commissioner and the person, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say
think
the
2
first
people is-
handful would be Ray or the part-time person that we have coming
Yep.
in the future. And then once it's second nature, then it can just be 2 commissioners.
I don't think, I think we're trying to move away from Ray going, because
Yeah.
as a town manager, he's really shouldn't be out knocking doors, right? He's super busy, so.
Yeah.
I would take him off the list as, as your first few.
We'll
like,
vote on
you
that.
know.
But what I used to do is, okay, we have a meeting, the first 2 that respond, they want to go, win.
Yep,
Yeah, exactly.
That's how that
Yeah.
works.
fine, yeah.
If you've heard of like Doodle or Rally, there's apps, websites where you just send something out to all 6 people and say, hey, we have an appointment scheduled for noon on, October 3rd or what, I don't even know what day of the week that is, but
Can go, yeah.
who can make it, first 2, boom, done. It's super easy for scheduling like
Okay.
larger groups, just whoever the first couple people are, and then
I've never heard of those,
Me neither.
so,
Rally, RALLLY.
Daniel's writing stuff down over there.
And
be honest,
Doodle.
I'm
Doodle used to be better, but it got sold to somebody, so.
To rally.
Rally. It's Rally, but it's 3 L's.
Okay, so we'll figure out who we would like to visit and then send that over to Daniel. Who can get us scheduled, and then we'll figure out who wants to go. Right?
yeah.
Okay.
Do you have an idea of what type of businesses you want to start with?
Your suggestion had been the larger corporations, to start there.
I mean,
You
sorry,
probably
not,
should do a
not to interrupt, but I
mix.
would say maybe mid-size. The CEO of Henkel is probably often somewhere
Right.
else, right? But
Would have to go through Daniel.
yeah, but like somebody whose headquarters is here, maybe they have a handful of employees or 20 or whatever, but the large like international corporations, maybe that's not for us lay people to hobnob with.
Well, sure it is. We met with Henkel a couple times.
They're an
Cisco,
important,
Cisco we met with.
Yep.
But yeah, you need to get a good cross-section of the community. So you get maybe a couple large ones, mid-section, maybe some smaller manufacturers. We don't have very many manufacturers. PDQ, I think I gave you a list of suggestions.
Simonize.
Yeah.
Simonize PDQ.
Yeah.
PDQ is a manufacturer off of Evans Road.
Okay, so we have the final survey. Do we have a clean list of businesses that we'd like to go target to start from to select?
Yeah, and you pick maybe, if you have time, 1 or 2 a day. Wait, not every day, but, for a day, you pick maybe 1 or 2. They may last 45 minutes to over an hour.
Yep. All right, can we get the final survey, I guess, circulated? And then the list of the businesses? Is that something that we can also circulate one last time and then maybe give recommendations of who we like with guidance from Ray to go?
I have a quick question. So, when you go somewhere, you should usually bring something, like I think it's an Italian thing, like I would bring a little food or something, right? So do we want to reach out to the chamber and say, hey, can you give us a little swag so we used
Yeah.
to do that with our chamber, right? Just a little something.
Yeah.
I know we don't really have swag, Rocky Hill swag.
We got the shop down at the senior center. Is there some Rocky Hill stuff there?
Yeah, well, we don't want to
Trivet.
purchase it, like,
crochet
right?
trivet.
Actually, we do have some
Yeah.
Rocky Hill swags. We don't have a
We
lot
have
of them,
the-
but we can
the
buy more of
pictures.
them. They're fabric. We kind of use them to cover the sign over our old forge. And
What
it
do you
has
do?
I think it has the
What are we looking at?
Make New History here. I'll have to check with Kristen.
And
Oh,
what
that
do
would be
what do
nice
you
to have
do with that?
something like that.
piece? It's like just a
Let's give it
tablecloth?
to them.
No, but I mean, what is the purpose of the cloth? Like, what would they do with it?
Probably throw it away.
Throw it on a shelf in the back of somebody's office and never
I'm just
never look
wondering,
at it
like, what
again.
do you do? What-
I don't know.
I'm curious myself.
Yeah.
I mean, should we wear them as capes when we walk in?
Well, anyway, that's just a thought. Like,
That's
if
a
we
good
could
idea.
bring
Either-
something,
so
you
either
know,
Rocky Hill
something.
or,
Yeah.
Okay. Or ask the chamber. All right, so the list of businesses, this is something that we've struggled with
Yeah.
multiple times, so how are we?
I mean,
You want me to pick them? I'll just pick 5 and then,
Perfect.
Yeah,
Then-
target a few businesses, and then as we're out and about town, I think we talked about that too, as we're visiting, some of the local merchants, we can kind of do that.
Do the same thing, but
Do
on a
the same
small
thing,
scale.
kind
Right.
of on a small scale.
Do you have any issues, what's going on? Do you have,
Right.
and
Introduce ourselves.
let them know that what they say to you is confidential,
Right,
unless it's okay to talk about it at a meeting.
okay.
And that's probably
You did have some of those cards.
more
right?
helpful
Yeah,
than
I
going out
did.
for a visitation, just casual
I
conversation.
think Ray said he's got a stack of them.
He did have a
I
bunch
got
of those
small
cards.
stack here.
Those cards, the
yeah.
economic development
Do you all
cards.
have them? No.
Didn't you change these?
Well, we don't have the new
I
ones
didn't.
yet.
You don't have new ones. I didn't
Yeah, that's
change.
what I mean. I got the real old ones.
Well, they
Yeah, that's
still
what
work.
we got last time.
Yeah, those are like,
So, but we can still,
12 years
we can
old.
use those for now,
Yeah.
so we get new ones.
I don't want to sound like this is an obvious question. I don't mean to make it sound like it's obvious, but what's your expectations of the outcomes of these surveys?
find out who's leaving, who's staying, who's downsizing, who needs more space before they go somewhere else. That's my goal. That was my goal.
Right, because sometimes we can find, if somebody doesn't have enough space and they're looking, they might not have that put out there yet. But if we go in and they say, we're growing, we just need more space, we don't have it here, and then hopefully we could help them find it and stay in town versus losing them to another town.
So if they're having a problem with the building department, with something you're doing for an addition or a renovation, you can let me know and we can go over and try to fix it.
Is that those types of questions, it may not be accurate, but those types of questions lean towards like the Henkels of the world, or not so much those, but more so like the 10-person companies or the 30-person companies, or all the above?
All the above, yeah.
Because I only ask because like the Henkels of the world, they're big companies, like similar to what we're just talking about. Well, there's a demographic. They already know why they're here, right?
Yeah. Well,
They're going to have an issue that you'll be the first to know, if not the mayor, right?
for example, we went to a large German manufacturer, not Henkel, and they are looking to consolidate their warehouse, which is in a different community, and they would love to purchase the property behind them for expansion and relocate that to here. So that's something we can try to help with, try to do some survey work with them and try to maybe negotiate the property owner to maybe sell a portion of the properties. That's really happening right now. That's a real case example. Yeah, but you're right. Henkel, if they're going to if they want to relocate, they're going to relocate. Same thing with we had McKesson here. They consolidated to somewhere in New York State. There's nothing that we could have done to keep them here.
I think the primary question, like what I always ask businesses is, what can we do to make sure you stay? And
Right.
so I think once you gather all of your answers, are you putting them into some type of report so that we can then use that data and we can figure out?
So our thought was
impact.
to be a little more conversational with them, not, okay, question one.
Like the census?
Yeah, but kind of use that as our framework for when we're having a discussion to kind of keep ourselves on track, as well as, gather the information that we're looking for and listen to what else they might need from us, if anything. Maybe nothing. Maybe it's just having the contact that would be helpful. Because today there might not be a problem. A week from now there might be. A month from now there might be.
And then you bring it back to staff and say, listen, I was at so-and-so's and they're having a problem with their neighbor or the brush or something, and
Right.
can we get our enforcement people out there? Little things like that are very helpful.
You don't like that
But we
answer?
do need to keep, we need to keep a record of what's happening, who we visited, what the issues are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We would then fill it out on the form afterwards.
Yeah.
This new position the idea is to have this person gather the data and input it into, software package so we can keep track of issues, both negatives and positive issues.
Right. So that would be good. So like you
Yeah,
were
and
saying,
then we
if you
can
go
have
to
a
the
follow-up,
small,
too.
yeah, if you go to the small businesses
Right.
and there's an issue or something positive even, we don't have to be all issues either.
You're right,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, but maybe get a hold of that person and they can enter something into, right, whatever program that we're going to have? Or
Yeah.
website, not
Yeah.
website, but you know what I mean?
Spreadsheet or
Software.
something.
Okay,
We have some sort of, database tracking system for this somewhere. It's just out of date, right? Like a CRM, but it's more like,
I think there was
I
an
think
Excel.
from years ago, there used to be that Excel spreadsheet,
Yeah.
remember, with all the businesses on there?
Yeah,
In
that-
town, with
yeah.
the contacts.
Contact
That's-
and many of the emails,
Right.
but
I have to say, I love that you just said CRM though,
I know.
because that would be awesome to have something like that.
Yeah.
So that, you,
constituent records management.
right.
that's beyond.
Spreadsheet will work.
It's like a spreadsheet,
Spreadsheet will work
except
for
it
now.
has everything we would need, like
Yeah.
emails, the addresses, phone numbers, the name of the contact person, the business name, and the last time, every time you make
Just-
a
yeah,
contact
just-
with them, there's a little
So the town
checkbox.
doesn't have
Salesforce
CRM
does.
software, so we don't have that, so it's just gonna be an Excel.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's only, how many questions the survey? 6 finalized?
More than 6.
Yeah, it's not a lot though, but it's,
I mean, does anybody know how to use Access? That's part of that, Excel and Word and all that. Access is like a database, if somebody knows. Yeah,
Danielle?
that's actually a more effective database than Excel.
Yeah, we have it. But actually, what we have was, when I first started here, somebody that worked for the town was able to utilize that, but I can't use that. I've never used Access.
Yeah.
Are we on Office 365?
Yeah,
Forms.
yeah.
Forms would be perfect.
I think we just started 65. We had like the first phase of it. I'm not sure.
Forms
I
would be
have to
nice
check with
itself.
IT.
And it's already stored.
Forms.
Can take all that, put it into a database.
There won't be that much information, really.
I mean, for right now, honestly, the question is just answer in Excel. You can have one Excel file with all the tabs, all the businesses we met, and then eventually when we get whatever, then it can be easily manipulated, still searchable. Probably be the easiest thing to do right now.
Just,
So it sounds like we're agreeing to a digital platform.
Yeah, you can write your answers
regardless
out while
of-
you're with them, but I think each one
Right.
of us goes back and you type it and add more of the color from your conversation.
Exactly.
Add it all into there and then, highlight the things that are important, an issue and, whatever it may be, something of need, we highlight those, but at least it's all going to be captured, So,
I like it.
all right, target dates, when can we do this? Survey goes out, list goes out, you give us your recommendations, maybe if we know a business, we might be able to offer you and say, hey, I can get access to X, Y, Z.
Yeah, that's what happened in the past. Commissioner or two would tell me, hey, I want to go visit
Come out.
so-and-so, yeah.
Would we want to do October, or is that too soon? Then once we get into the holidays, it's going to be
I
just awful.
I mean, I don't think October's too soon, because if
October
we're
would
out
be
and
okay.
about town, we can start, and still,
Next month.
Ray will come up with those like 5 key businesses or so that he wanted. That would be setting up an appointment, but we can get out and about
Oh,
town.
absolutely. Well, we can go now. Yeah.
Right.
I have a suggestion, probably more for Ray, is that when you generate the list, you may want to parenthetically include how, if at all, that business is contributing. So we're not being insulting, because we have people who pay for our fireworks and people who pay for the farmers market, and it would be really nice if you could acknowledge that. And I feel like if we didn't acknowledge that, that could also backfire on us.
I can try.
Yeah.
That was a big sigh.
Well, I know Rita would have it.
Rita will have it.
Because Rita has a
yes.
list of all our
So we can
sponsors.
cross whatever-
And we can just cross-reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you send out, I'll contact Rita and find out.
Probably even better than a gift is if we acknowledge, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
Absolutely. So ideally, we'd like to target the official visits for October. Is that what we're thinking?
Or are we thinking of getting the official questions and businesses, by October? And then after that is when we start actually scheduling visits.
Well, we have the questions already.
Yeah.
We do have the
It's ready.
questions.
It's ready to
Yeah,
go.
Oh, that's already finalized?
So we can get that done.
Okay. Yeah, we already have the questions. It's just a matter of sharing them with everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start next month. September.
All right, it's just going to be,
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. It's only August.
Yeah, so when,
Right, right.
whenever we can get the appointments scheduled.
We're not September yet.
Okay. We good?
Yep.
Sounds good. Progress.
Any other business?
Oh, no.
Nothing?
Did you have a question?
What was my questions? I had a couple of them.
Exactly. What were the questions you had before?
So the first one was, what's going on with the Tomato Joe's building, and why is it overgrown?
Tomato Joe's is probably going to be a retail cannabis dispensary.
They withdrew their application, though, right? Through P and Z?
That I don't know.
I thought I saw that they had withdrawn.
So
Right.
nothing then.
Okay,
If they were through, then it's. the
They
city.
withdrew it from planning and zoning.
from planning and zoning, yeah. Okay. So that was one question. We still don't know. Why is it overgrown? That's question two. Oh, the mercury gas.
Yeah.
Is that still going to be mercury gas?
No.
What is it? Can you share?
I don't know what it is because the owner is Mercury Gas.
Yep.
And after a few years of discussions with him, he had indicated that it won't be a Mercury Gas. It won't be a Cumberland Farms.
Does it have a drive-through? It looks
Yes.
like a little drive-through
It's a
window
drive-through.
there.
It kind of looks, it's not a Cumberland, you can tell it's not a Cumberland Farms, but it kind of looks like a Mercury Gas. So he's always been up and down and
I
So
thought,
it's-
but he sold. The Mercury Oil sold to somebody else, who then started building.
Okay, so it's still planned, though, for a gas station, convenience
Yeah.
store type of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the original plans that were
Okay.
approved for the previous owner.
I mean, I'm happy to see something going there versus just, nothing, so. And that was it for my questions. Besides the idea for the flag, for the banners.
We had a office building on Silas Dean sell in July that was covered in the Hartford Business Journal. Do we know if there's any plans for changing that purpose of that building or anything like that?
what building?
I think it's like Hartford Healthcare, St. Francis, something like that, because
No,
it's
I've heard of no plans. to
next.
change
It's like next to
Yeah.
Bel Air Circle
with the
stuff.
Round front, yeah.
So just sold it to a different owner to
So
keep
far,
it same use and everything.
so far, yeah.
I think it's occupied anyway, right? I think it's fully occupied with medical stuff. Cool.
Okay, that's it? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Favor? Aye, we're
Aye.
adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is that over